So you're taking off your clothes, but you're not giving yourself the opportunity to take off the day. My name is Betsy Perez, and I help women who have experienced childhood sexual abuse have fulfilling sex lives. And one of the things that I realize in the season of my healing when I was with a partner of mine at the time was that I didn't give myself the opportunity to take off the day, meaning to decompress, meaning to have a moment with myself, to understand what my mood, what my state of mind was before he came home. And what began to happen was that he'd come home, he'd want to be tender with me, intimate with me. He would want to hug me, want to kiss me. And I was physically unable to return that, though I wanted to. And I was frustrated, one with myself, mainly because I didn't know how to communicate that. And I was also frustrated with him because I felt like, don't you know me by now? Shouldn't you be able to tell that I don't want you to touch me, that I don't want anything to do with you at the moment? And that in and of itself created a cycle of him feeling frustrated and also confused and feeling like a failure in a lot of ways because he felt like I don't know what to do. I thought I knew the person that I was intimate with and that I'm in a relationship with. I thought I knew how to get you in the mood. I thought I knew how to approach you. I thought I knew all of these things that in a previous season of my healing made sense. But in this moment where things were shifting, I was going more deeper into healing circles for adult survivors. I was deeper into what it meant for me to repair my relationship with my own body and my sex and my life in general. I was not communicative, and I also was confused about what was happening even to myself with my body and my sex because if I loved having sex. I didn't understand what was happening with me in this whole season of healing, and not really understanding that depending on the season that you are of your healing, that can completely impact your sex life. And it is unfair for us to expect our partners to understand that or to know that, especially if they are unaware of the abuse, they are unaware of how this can show up throughout someone's lifetime as well, and how that can impact relationships. And also, we sometimes forget that our partners can also have been adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse, and men have less of a system of support than women do, and we're talking just culturally as a society, and not just in the States but globally. So there's a lot of dynamics at play that we struggle to take into account. So, whoops. So one of the things that I began to do was, and I you can also do, is that I began to take off the day and give myself the time to do that. So meaning that more or less, my boyfriend at the time, he'd come home sometime in the evening. There was an obvious routine, and I would give myself the time beforehand. I will always give myself some time, some at some point in the afternoon, to decompress, understand where I was, my mood, my state of being. And I also communicated that to him, that because I was one, doing healing circles, and I knew that once I finished, it was overlapping with some time of him coming home. So I understood that this is a man that I wanted to be intimate with. I wanted to feel his love. I needed his encouragement. I needed his touch. I needed his intimacy. Sometimes we're right now, often like in this culture of not needing men and men ain't shit. And I push back against that. We need our men. And there's also a part of us as adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse where we have to understand how to communicate our needs and also how to communicate our intimate needs, and because intimacy is beyond sex, we're talking about the array of levels of intimacy that we need, and how do we communicate those needs to our partners, especially because we want to have connected, present, beautiful, amazing sex. Like that is something that we want. It's not something that you don't want, it's something that you desire. And how do you increase your presence and your availability to yourself first in order to then bring your partner into the fold of that, so that you can both create and co-create a sex life that is considerate of where you are and where he is as well. So I first sat with myself, understood what is it that I need in order to be more present for him and myself in these moments, because I want more of his intimacy. He is invested in my healing. He's invested in being more connected with me, and so am I. I just am having issues with allowing and facilitating that. And so I got clear about what it is that I needed in this moment. What I needed is, okay, my circles were from 6 to 7. I know you get home around 7:30. I just need for when you come home, yes, but I need at least an hour. I need to be with myself from 7 to 8. And then at once I have like a nice decompression, and have sat with myself, I've sat with my day, I've sat with everything, then I will approach you. And that helps our partners because it allowed him to know, okay, she's not just being a bitch, or I'm not walking on eggshells. I'm giving her space. It also allows him to have his space if maybe he feels like, I don't know, in this time with a lot of the tension that is happening, what can I say? What can I do? Because when we're in it, it makes it difficult for them to really understand what's happening. So it gives them a container. It gives you a container. It allows you both to breathe. And then once that 8 o'clock or around that time came about, it allowed us to have much more smoother nights. It allowed me to feel more contained. It allowed me to feel more secure, more confident. And I was able to meet him, and he was able to meet me in real time with more presence. It wasn't always perfect, but God, did it help astronomically our ability to be intimate and present with each other. So I was able to take off the day before we started taking off our clothes. So if this is something that you struggle with, I encourage you to understand what you need and communicate to your partner that, and take an hour, 30 minutes for yourselves. If you need any support with creating this system for yourself, my link is in the bio, and I would love to work with you. Mwah.